What's up, everybody? My name's Parasite. Welcome back to the Jose Mourinho Challenge with Barcelona. Today we've got Villarreal away from home in the Copa del Rey quarterfinal and Atletico Madrid away from home in the Liga. We do currently still sit top of the table. We are 5 points clear of Real Madrid and 6 points clear of third place Atletico Madrid. But away from home, it's still a little bit of a struggle. But we have recently turned things around a little bit, and that's thanks to a change in tactic. But before we get to that, we've also made some new signings as we've reached the end of the January transfer window. No big moves, but still, moves have been done. We finished off the transfer window with only one new permanent signing, but we have loaned in 2 players to replace 2 players that have gone out on loan. Those players that have been loaned out are players that need some first-team football that we couldn't really offer them to aid their development, and so we shipped them out and brought in players that could perform right now, more veteran players, on pretty similar, if not cheaper, wages. So the first one to leave us was David Pearce. He's gone on loan to Hoffenheim. He's just a player that, he's not natural position for us as striker. He can't really play anywhere else in our system, and he's just not a great striker. Obviously, he'd be more of the creative type, and he's still really young, only 20 years old. So I feel like Barcelona's still a little bit too big for David Pearce. So we're going to loan him out to Hoffenheim, give him a little bit more development, and yeah, we'll bring in somebody that might be able to perform a little bit better for us right now and help us achieve our expectations. The other player we loaned out was Javier Uribe. He is a deep-lying playmaker that's played a little bit more than Pearce because he's been a little bit better. But once again, not getting enough first-team football, I thought, to help aid his development. So we've loaned him out as well to Granada. We've replaced them with 2 players from the Bundesliga. First to replace David Pearce is Julian Alvarez, the current Argentine Manchester City forward. He's been there for a long time, and he's been pretty prolific for them in the Bundesliga. But the past couple of seasons, as he's gotten into his 30s, he's kind of worked his way out of the squad. And so they've agreed to send him here on loan, only paying his wages, which are 73K, not awful. Actually cheaper than Pearce's wages. And he's better as a striker than David Pearce is. He can do kind of both roles with the passing he's got. He's got amazing off the ball. Finishing, he can actually finish. Physicals are still there, 16 natural fitness, so he should be able to hold out for the rest of the season as well. I think it's a pretty solid signing for a depth piece at striker. We've also brought in one more player, actually 2 more, but one more to replace Javier Uribe, and that is American midfielder Gianluca Busio. He is 30 years old. He's not exceptional, but just as a very low on the depth chart depth piece on really cheap wages, and he can do multiple things. Unlike Uribe, he can play further forward as a center mid on attack, even a little bit as a Mazzala, even though his dribbling's not amazing, but he's got decent enough finishing. Can do a little bit more than Uribe could in front of goal. But he can also still play that deep-lying playmaker on defend. He's got the passing, he's got the tackling, the vision, the composure, the tech decisions. Again, his attributes aren't amazing, nothing green or above, but he's still a really solid player that could be some really cheap depth for us. The only permanent signing was a player for the future, and that is Josef Nosko from TSC in Serbia. Only 1.7 million, which was a release clause, and he is pretty dang good. He's 18 years old, and he is currently a 2-star player for Barcelona at 18, with 5-star potential. He looks pretty tremendous as a wide player in our system. Says he can play striker, but again, he's got the same problem as David Pearce. He can't finish. So I think he is better on the wings, and since he is so young, I think he can train him there to be better on the wings than he currently is. He's almost perfectly 2-footed as well. Very strong left foot, strong right foot. His pace really the only thing that lets him down, only 11. But everything else for an 18-year-old is pretty exceptional. In fact, he's a competent passer, really good technique, really good dribbling, really good first touch, composure, decisions. Just that finishing, maybe a little bit crossing, I'd like to be a little bit better, but 10 for 18-year-olds not bad at all. I just think he's a really, really good player, and with that fee, I couldn't say no. Next up to the results, where we played 4 matches away from home in a row, and we won 3 of them. We'd won 1 of the previous 8, and then we won 3 of 4. I don't really understand, but we did change system, and even though the results haven't been super encouraging in terms of actually the performances, we're not dominating teams that we should dominate, but at least we're getting wins. That's progress. Our first match was against Real Oviedo in the Copa del Rey 3rd round. They're a 2nd division side, and it took extra time. But, they didn't do anything the entire game. 45th minute, stoppage time of the first half, really. Vicente Ponzi decides, you know what? I'm just going to give away a penalty here. They haven't literally touched the ball once. They haven't been on our side of the pitch. But the first time they do, I'm just going to take down a guy in the box, and we're giving them the penalty. And so they score in, the last second of the first half, and go into halftime with a 1-0 lead. And I was like, it's just, nothing's going to change. There's nothing I can do. Fortunately, second half started. Luca Carna gets a goal to bring it back to 1-1. And then, you can see it. Zaniolo's like, yeah, no, this has been a little bit too easy. We're actually playing pretty well, so I'm just going to go get sent off. So, 72 minutes in, we're down a man. Only tying 1-1 with a 2nd division side. Fortunately, we dominated them from there on out, just like we dominated the rest of the match. And it took extra time, but William Gabels does get the goal to give us the winner to send us to the 4th round. Again, not promising, but it was the first match we played with our new tactics, so at least we got the win with it. Then we took on Almeria away from home in the Liga. They are the best team we played in this stretch. They're in top 10, I think, in the Liga. And it was a 1-1. They scored early on, 16th minute, got a goal. We scored 31st minute, Larranaga, but it's another match we absolutely dominated. They didn't deserve to be in it at all. They had like 0.4 XG, 0.38 actually, and we had 1.3, and still, we could not take our chances. At that point, it felt like no matter what tactic we made, it wasn't going to matter if our strikers couldn't actually freaking score. Fortunately, they did score after that. The best away match we've had in a long time, as we smashed Deportivo 3-1, and it wasn't even that close. They scored in the 88th minute, and yeah, it was a pretty comfortable win. I was very glad to see it as well. Zaniolo, Larranaga, and Luca Carna all getting on the score sheet. Again, a pretty dominant victory. They actually did a little bit more going forward than Almeria did, but we also did a lot more going forward than we did in the last match as well, 3.6 XG. So once again, we scored 3 goals away from home and still underscore our XG. Then we played Zaragoza, another second division side in the Copa del Rey 4th round, and again, very, very close. 1-0 in the end, thanks to substitution by Luca Carna, comes in and scores a goal in the 84th minute. Did have a decent amount of rotation in there, but there were some strong players out there. Nico Williams, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Vincente Ponzi, Sergio Ricardo, William Gabels, Larranaga. But once again, we dominated the match, and our forwards could do absolutely nothing. We had 17 shots, could only put 8 of them on target. They had 1 shot in the entire game, didn't go in, didn't even go on target. But I fully expected with the last shot of the match, they were going to score and equalize. Fortunately, they didn't. Then the final match of this stretch, finally a home game. And of course, since it's a home game, we absolutely smashed them. Didn't matter who we were playing. We dominate every single home game. This one against, you would expect to be the best team of this bunch. They are actually struggling a little bit, but I mean, it's still Valencia. They still have a lot of quality, and it was still really easy because we're at home. 4 goals, Luca Carna with the brace, Zaniolo with the goal, Adli with the goal. It just doesn't make sense. Doesn't matter what tactic I play, no matter what, they can score goals for fun at home. It's no big deal, but the second they leave Barcelona, it's like they've never actually shot a ball before. So that means today we take on Villarreal in the Copa del Rey quarterfinal. Again, away from home. We still haven't got a home game in the Copa del Rey so far. And obviously, this is a game we need to win. This is a competition that we have to win. So we really need to get through this. And then for the second match, I'm going to go with Atletico away from home. Champions League, obviously we've won all the Champions Leagues we really need to win. It's not a massive priority, even though I still would like to win it. So at least we're not going to show this first leg against Man City. We might still show the second leg though. So now we move on to the team and the tactic for this match against Villarreal. If you didn't watch my last episode, it was all about tactics. We didn't have any gameplay. It was just about these 2 tactics I've created to try to fix our problems away from home. And we've just gone Brexit 4-4-2. We do have 2 different tactics. One when we're more of an even matchup, or maybe one team's just a slight favorite. And then another one when we're pretty massive favorites. Matches we should be comfortably winning. That recently we haven't been. Because depending on our opposition, they require different approaches. For this video, I'm not going to go over the tactics in full. If you want to see that, check out my last video. I will just bring up our in possession, then our in transition, and then our out of possession. You can pause it if you want to see any of these. Want to try to copy it. I mean, obviously, don't copy it until we know it works. Obviously, the results recently have been pretty decent, even though the performances haven't still been quite where I think they should be, but at least we're getting wins, and we really had to pull ourselves out of a pretty big funk. Now over to the squad we're going to take for this one. We only have 1 injury, and that is Nicolo Zaniolo. He's out for a couple weeks with a damaged foot, so he's unavailable. As is Mark Guehi, who's at the African Cup of Nations still. And so the squad we're going to go for this match is Luca Carna up top with Larranaga, kind of our starting front 2. Nico Williams on the left wing. Trent playing as the right midfielder for this one. Nico in the holding role with Sergio Ricardo as that supportive central midfielder. Backline of Ponzi, Nyanzu, Araujo, and then Porro at right back. And then Simon, who's had a pretty decent start to his Barcelona career. Then on the bench, we got most of the usual names, along with Julian Alvarez, who could be making his debut today for Barcelona. I put in a lot of effort making these 2 tactics to try to fix our problems away from home. Recently, we've been rewarded with some decent results. Today, we'll find out if we can keep that going, or if we're going to fall apart all over again. We've got an early hard luck to start this match. It's starting with a goal kick for us. Nyanzu's going to pick it up, and he's going to look to go long. Can Larranaga win this? No, so it's going to go right back to Villarreal, and they're going to look to see if they can create something. But Porro wins it, but it only falls right back to Mika Marmol, the former Barcelona player. Now Pau, is that Pau Torres still? I think it might be. He's got to be getting up there. But we do win this. Nico Williams finds Larranaga. Into Luca Carna, looking to hold it up and find Larranaga, but it's not a good ball. But once again, we win it back. This time it's Sergio Ricardo. He looks for a long ball to Trent Alexander on this right wing. He's got amazing crossing. Can he use it? He has to go back to Nico, who finds Larranaga to the byline. Can he find someone to pull back to? It's Pedro Porro, who, is that a cross or was that an attempted shot? I mean, if it's going to count, I don't really care. Luca Carna with the header at the back post, and it is a very close decision. I really can't say one way or the other. Is it a goal? It is. We've got an early goal from a pretty weird play. I've never really seen anything quite like this. Larranaga finds Pedro Porro, and I mean, if that's a cross, that is a weird-looking cross. I feel like that was a shot that went completely awry, but fortunately, it worked. We got another highlight pretty soon afterwards, though. We're now 7 minutes in, and this time, Villarreal have a goal kick. They're going to look long. We usually do pretty well from these situations. Nianzou wins it, and he finds the foot of Trent Alexander-Arnold with a great ball to Luca Carna. Our first chance, one-on-one, and that was another interesting finish. But it's another good finish. Luca Carna, we are 7.5 minutes in, and he has a brace. We have already scored more goals in 8 minutes than we have in the majority of our away games this season. Just crazy. Trent Alexander-Arnold, what a ball that is. I mean, that's what's nice about having Trent Alexander-Arnold a little bit further forward. He can find those through balls to set up really good chances, and that was another one for Luca Carna, who did well to take it. We've got a throw in now, 18 minutes in. Trent Alexander-Arnold's going to pick it up from Pedro Porro. He's going to go back to him. Now Trent's going to look to make the forward run. Porro instead finds Larranaga, who finds back to Alexander-Arnold. Back to Porro. Holds it up. He's got a man inside. That's Nico. He's going to find Trent. Some nice interplay here between these 4 players. Porro, Nico, looking for Larranaga one more time. Doing very well here. Once again, Luca Carna through on goal. He can't get his hat trick. It could have been a 19-minute hat trick. Unfortunately, he couldn't quite put it on target. Now I've got a free kick, though. 30 minutes in, Trent looking for someone else. I thought he might go for goal there, but no, he is selfless. But he does get the ball back after they look to clear it. He's going to go back to Pedro Porro. He's got a lot of time, but a very poor dribble, but fortunately, he wins it right back. Trent now, back into Larranaga, into Luca Carna, another chance for his hat trick. At least he put this one on target, but it could have been better. The quality wasn't great. It was kind of right down the middle. But we are going to see this corner. Luca Carna does score the odd corner goal. He sits here at the near post as we look to go back, but unfortunately for us, really, the goalkeeper wins it. You see if he can create a Villarreal attack now. Looks like he's going to go long. Ball's there, but Pedro Porro, all 5'8" of them, wins it, but they get it right back, but we once again get it right back. Our counter press has been very, very good today. One of the best I've seen from this team in a long time. Trent now, especially away from home. Like, this is night and day for what we've been seeing away from home. Trent, another ball for Luca Carna. Can't quite get to this one, but we're going to get this. One more time. They look to clear from back. It is just not working for them. Nico Williams, Luca Carna, another chance. He does not miss this one. You give him one chance, he might miss it. You give him 2 chances, he might miss both of them. You give him 3, he's going to put it in the back of the net. I think it's going to count too. From my perspective, it looked onside, but of course, I'm wrong. It doesn't count. This might be one of the last chances of the first half. A corner towards the near post, Nianzou, but it gets headed out to Larranaga. But we can still create something here. He's going to go back to Trent, who can find a ball in, but instead he goes to Nico. Larranaga, is he going to try for a shot himself? No, he's going to go to Trent. Nico Williams has got a little bit of a knock, might come off at halftime, especially if we score a 3rd goal. Instead, Ponzi now making an overlap. He's going to find Nico. A ball in to Larranaga. It's not going to win that, but it's going to, once again, it's going to fall to us, I think. Sergio Ricardo picks it up. Nico, Trent, the pressure we've got away from home is just tremendous. Porro, ball in. Can he get his hat trick this time? Still can't happen. I would have liked to go into halftime with a 3-0 advantage, but I'm not going to be greedy here. We have really struggled away from home. So 2-0 at halftime in our favor, I will freaking take it. It was a really wild first half. The second half started a little bit slower. So we're now in the 59th minute. We've got our first highlight. We're looking to build out from the back. Unai Simon, though, is going to go long, looking for Luca Carna. He's going to head this down to Ponzi, now playing into more advanced roles. We've taken off Nico Williams at halftime. Larranaga is going to find the switch ball to Trent Alexander-Arnold. He's been the center of almost everything we've done today. Luca Carna also, in terms of in goal, he's been in there as well. Cucurella, back to Nico. The Trent Alexander-Arnold, Luca Carna connection has been just tremendous today. Nico, Larranaga, looking to go from long distance, but this one only hits the crossbar. Throwing on this right-hand side. We are in their area already, so we can continue our pressure on them. Nico's going to find Pedro Porro. Everything's come down this right-hand side. Combination of Pedro Porro, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Nico, and even Larranaga on this side, who's very good on the ball as well, has been tremendous for us today. Ponzi is going to pick this up. He's going to find Cucurella. Has a chance to put it in. Luca Carna, can he get his hat trick? I mean, it's just not going to happen for him, is it? Like, at this point, I kind of want to take him off because I don't want to risk him, but I really want him to get this hat trick, but he already should have had it by now. Trent is going to put this ball in, though. We've got the corner. Near post, Araujo can't put it on target. I don't know if this is a real highlighter because I just made a change, but I'm going to commentate it nonetheless. Trent has a chance here. They're going to win the tackle, and they're going to create something maybe. Nico intercepts. Can we create something? Looking for Trent in a more advanced position. He's going to eventually find him. Can he find a ball? It is Luca Carna. Throw on goal again, but he puts it wide, and that was his last opportunity as we're just about to take him off the pitch. He should have had his hat trick by now. I wish he could have got it, but I don't really want to risk him from here on out. He's been very good today. And so Julian Alvarez is going to make his debut. Now we've got one last sub to make. And, I mean, we've got a lot of tired players on the pitch. We played a lot of games recently. Ronald Araujo, the most tired of them all. And obviously one of the more important players as well. So he's probably going to be the one I'm going to take off. On the bench, we've got some decent options still. Cameron, Boothby, add the Oscar. But I think it's going to be Leon for Araujo. I mean, he's, again, one of our most important players. Nico kind of as well, but deep line playmakers, especially defensive ones, just don't get good ratings. So even though I think he's been pretty good. I mean, Trent might be you want to take off because he's also been tremendous today. But, I mean, Ronald's the most tired. I think he's probably the most susceptible to be injured if with that, lack of fitness. So I don't want to risk him. He's coming off, and we're going to see this game out. Looks like it's going to be at the least a 2-0 win. Villarreal have done absolutely nothing today. It has been a dominant performance for Barcelona, and it is well needed. But the game's still not over. 84th minute, ball to the back post. Fortunately, they can't put it on target. And we are going to get the 2-0 win. Finally, a pretty dominant performance away from home, especially a dominant performance, a win on camera away from home. That feels like that hasn't happened in a long time. I mean, I think a couple episodes ago we actually won, but it wasn't that convincing. We dominated. We should be dominating these matches. I mean, this is what we've been doing for the past couple of months. We've just not been getting the results. Today, that changed. It's only our first season with Barcelona, and we're already in a Copa del Rey semi-final. Fortunately, the Nico Williams injury was not that bad. Tight groin out 1 to 2 days. He should be fine. Alvarez also makes his debut. Karna, man of the match, of course. I mean, he should have had 3 or 4 goals probably. I mean, should have at least had 3. Could have had even up to 5. But he was still pretty superb. Him and Trent Alexander-Arnold both were absolutely tremendous. And now Leonardo is mad because he wants a new contract. I mean, he's been coming to me for basically since the start of the season, before we even played a match, that he wanted a new deal. I mean, now he at least deserves a little bit more, but he's not even been that tremendous. I mean, he's been good for us. 6 goals, 3 assists. I mean, I might be even underselling it quite a bit. 7.61 average rating. Leonardo might deserve a new contract. Only on 68K, but his contract's through 2035. Does he have an optional year? He doesn't. I might have to offer him a new deal. I don't usually do this, but with the timing of how everything's happened, I'm going to go through how I approach these situations. First, I talked to Ronald Araujo, trying to see if he can talk to him. It didn't work. Now we have to talk to Larinaga. We could be able to just talk him out of it immediately, but before we do that, in case we have to actually promise him to offer a new deal, I want to see how much he wants. So I'm going to start with offering a new contract. Wants to be an advanced forward. You're probably not going to do that. Domestic Cup, we can do that. Contract. So I want end of season because it's going to be a wage rise. He wants important player. I'd prefer regular starter. We'll see about that. Okay, he's happy with it. I'm okay with that. So end of season. How much is he going to want? He's on 68. I'm assuming he'll want 180 at the absolute least, it feels like. Let's see what he wants. I mean, if it's anything less than that, I'd probably go up to 150 and I'd feel pretty good. Yeah, it's 205. That's a lot of money. But, I mean, the patience isn't super high. Probably get it down to like 175, maybe a little bit less. All right, now before we do this though, I want to talk to him, see if I can just talk him out of it completely so I don't even have to worry about it. Discuss the new contract. Is there anything I can help with? Let's go. All right, we didn't have to worry about the contract. He's okay with it, and I'm okay with it. Having a player on 68K that can be a starter for Barcelona and play pretty well, that's only an advantage. Now we're going to skip forward a day to see the draw for the Copa del Rey semi-final. But before we get there, we'll look at the teams that are through. Atletico Madrid beat Athletic Bilbao on penalties, so they're in the semi-final. As is Valencia, who beat Granada, and Real Madrid, who beat Sociedad in extra time. So unfortunately, no upsets. It's not going to be easy. All right, it is time for the semi-final. Teams we could take on: Atletico Madrid. Obviously, we've already played them a decent amount. I don't really want to play them again right now. Real Madrid, I'm always down to play in El Clasico. And then Valencia, obviously probably the easiest, definitely the easiest of the 3. So they're really who I want. If we don't get Valencia, obviously Real Madrid's going to be harder than Atletico Madrid, but it's always fun to play in El Clasico, especially in the Copa del Rey semi-final. All right, who's first out of the hat? It is us. So we're actually at home. Is that like for sure? Like we're actually at home? For freaking finally. Who are we going to get? Just not Atletico Madrid. I want Valencia, obviously. Okay, it's an El Clasico. We've got an El Clasico in the Copa del Rey semi-final, and Atletico Madrid are going to be taking on Valencia in the other side of it. Wow, these matches really do come quick and fast, don't they? I thought the semi-final would be sometime in March, but no, it is in a week. So it looks like we might have a change of plans. We are playing Real Madrid before we're even playing Atletico Madrid. So I think the second game of this episode is going to be Real Madrid at home in the Copa del Rey Semi-Final. And of course, it's a two-legged thing, so we don't even get home advantage. It's home and away. We're going to start the first one at home, and that's going to be the second game of this episode. Sorry, Atletico Madrid. I mean, it's an El Clasico. We got to play Real Madrid. We got Celta Vigo in between. We'll play that, and then we'll get ready for an El Clasico in the Copa del Rey Semi-Final. All right, we played Celta Vigo, and it was at home, so obviously we destroyed them. A 4-0 win with Julian Alvarez getting his first goal for the club. Cabel's with the brace, Oscar with the goal. I actually didn't realize it was a home match to start the game. I came into the game with our away tactic out there, and then about 5 minutes in, I was like, wait, we're at home. So I immediately tried to switch to our home tactic, and fortunately, we were able to transition right into it without having to make any substitutions. And from then on out, it was absolute domination. They had one shot in the entire game, not even on target. We had 32 shots, 14 on target, 4 half chances, 3 clear-cut chances. Just dominant. So now we've got another home match, but it's not going to be nearly as easy. Celta Vigo are towards the bottom of the Liga, and, well, Real Madrid are Real Madrid, and it's an El Clasico. So it's going to be a lot tougher. We do have almost the full-strength squad. Leon just got injured, so he's not available, but he would probably just be on the bench. Zaniolo's still not fit, so he's still not going to be in the team. But we are going to be playing our home tactic, even though we are taking on Real Madrid. I mean, we've dominated everyone we've played with this, so I think we can still do a job. And if not, I've got Cucurella and Trent in there, so if we have to move them back to wingbacks, we can. The rest of the team, Connor's going to start. Obviously, he's been in tremendous form. Larranaga's been good. Oscar and Adley in the midfield. Nico in the holding role. Backline of Ponzi, Araujo, and Janzu. Simon and net. The only change we're going to make to the tactic is I'm going to move Ponzi to be more supportive, just to not get quite as far forward because it is Real Madrid, and they could definitely hurt us on the counterattack. So a little bit more reserved with Vicente Ponzi, and Nianzu's going to go on defend. Again, a little bit more reserved with him as well, but we still should have plenty of quality to be able to create chances and win this game pretty comfortably.
The first goal is crucial, right?
Obviously, it's always great to start quickly, but in all games, especially those like this, it's going to take all 90 minutes to be able to get a result, and I expect the same from the team today.
What do you expect ahead of your latest clash with Real Madrid?
And I expect the same thing from every single El Clasico. 2 groups of passionate fans in an extremely tough 90 minutes.
Having been drawn against an opponent quite similar to yourselves, you face a home first leg match. Are you confident of getting a positive result in front of your own fans?
I always have full faith in my players and my coaching staff to get a result. And we're in front of a great fan base like this, it just makes it a little bit easier. But in terms of the quality of our proposition, I mean, to be the best, you got to beat the best, and that's always our goal. Pretty tepid start to this one, as you might expect. 21 minutes in, first highlight of the match. And it's been a pretty even start for both teams, both with exactly the same XG. Very few shots. We haven't had a shot on target yet, but still a lot of game to be played. And we've got the ball with the first highlight. Ponzi's going to find Oscar. He's going to go outside to Cucurella. He's going to find Luca Crana with some hold-up play here. He's going to go back to Nico. Ball up, Trent Alexander-Arnold was tremendous in the last match. Finds Larranaga through. That combination has been very good for us. And Larranaga goes down. Gavardiol takes him down in the box, and that is a nailed-on penalty. Luca Crana is going to be the one to step up to take it. He's scored his last couple of penalties for us, even when we've not been in great form. So hopefully, in an El Clasico, he can put this one away and give us the lead 22 minutes in. Luca Crana at the spot. Chance to take an early lead against Real Madrid in the Copa del Rey Semi-Final, and that's exactly what happens. Keeper goes the wrong way. Luca Crana into the bottom corner. I don't think the keeper would have stood a chance even if he went the right way. Very good finish with a lot of pace behind it. We've got a lead. Pretty quick highlight soon afterwards, though. They're looking for a long ball, and that's just going to go right to Nianzu. We're going to see if we can create another attack. Nico looks for Larranaga. Heads it on to Luca Crana. Not something you see very often. Larranaga not the best in the air, but that was a really good chance, one we should have done better with. Looks like we might end this first half with only the slim 1-0 advantage, and that's going to be the case. Defensively, we've been very good today, though. Real Madrid have done very little. 2 shots, 1 on target, very low XG. Our XG is pretty dang high. Obviously, the penalty's in there, but we still have over 1 XG from non-penalties. And still, we've not done quite as well as we should in front of goal. 11 shots, but only put 3 of them on target, and one of those was the penalty. This game must hate me. We're finally doing well. Luca Crana scoring for fun, and now he's injured. Fortunately, we have a lead, but I mean, if we don't start taking our chances better, that's not going to continue. And now we're going to be without our best forward, Luca Crana, who scored the majority of our goals. Not ideal. Hopefully it's not bad. Foot injury. That could be a month or 2. Hopefully it's not serious, but we're going to have to bring in Gabels. He has scored a decent amount of goals for us. He is still a very quality goal scorer. We're probably going to need to see it today. First highlight after the Luca Carna injury. And it's going to be a free kick, I believe, on the edge of the area. Pretty good spot. Oscar back post to Araujo. He's got to be doing better there. You got to put that on target at the very least. Really, he should have put that in the back of the net. Got another highlight now. First, a throw-in we've seen from Real Madrid down this right-hand side. We literally have not seen them do anything so far. Have they had a shot in this half? No. Not a single shot in the second half. And now they're on the ball. But we are putting pressure on their back line. Militao's going to go back to Gallego into Umar Saleh. Going to go back to Militao. We are still putting the pressure on, but he's going to find Lamptey on this right-hand side. He's going to go back to the goalkeeper. We both have English right-backs right now, Tariq Lamptey and Trent Alexander-Arnold. Gvardiol, man who gave away the penalty. He's going to look for Valverde. Federico Valverde still at Real Madrid, still very good. Gvardiol looking for a long ball to the striker. That's Alexander Isak. He's looking to chip the goalkeeper, and he might have had a chance if he put that on target. Now we've got another highlight. 77 minutes in, and Gvardiol gives the ball away. Pons is going to pick it up. We have made a few tactical changes. We've brought the wingbacks back to actually being wingbacks. Be a little bit more defensive. We've also brought on Camera to be a box-to-box midfielder in the middle. Adley hadn't played well, and Camera's a little bit more defensive. So gone a little bit more defensive, but we still have plenty of attacking players on the pitch. Araujo looking to dribble forward. Is he going to go out wide? No, he's going to go back to Nico, who kind of falls back into that back line. He's going to find Ponzi. He's going to go all the way back to Simon, who tries to head it to Nyanzu. Interesting. But it's worked. Nyanzu looking to dribble forward, finds Gabels. What a through ball that is, and I said it earlier, we probably would need to see Gabels show off his finishing touch, and that's exactly what he did. The first chance we've seen him have today, and he puts it in the back of the net with a very solid finish. And we now got a 2-0 lead. We should be good from here on. 78th minute, 2-0 lead. Real Madrid have done absolutely nothing. We should be winning this match, but I'd still like another goal. We've got a pretty quick highlight now. 79th minute, and we've got a highlight here from a throw-in, and Real Madrid are going to win this. I've actually kind of gone more attacking now. I feel like at this point, Real Madrid is going to try to not concede any more goals and stay in it for their home leg. And so we might be able to push on and get another. So we're still going to be a little bit more aggressive. We've pushed the wingbacks back up to wide midfielders. We brought on Nico Williams on the left wing. And now if we concede, I'll feel really dumb. Fortunately, hopefully that doesn't happen. Kimmich on the ball is going to go back to Lamptey. They still have done absolutely nothing. They've had one shot in the second half, and it wasn't even on target. Nico Williams going to intercept this, look for Gabels, who is going to get there. I didn't think he was going to. But can he find somebody? He's going to go back to Nico. That player's time to get in the box. He's going to look for his man, Trent Alexander-Arnold, and it's going to fall to Larinaga. And there's that third goal I was pushing for. Now I have to make a decision. Now do we pull back again, or do we see if we can get a fourth and basically end this thing? I decided to go back to being a little bit more defensive, and it looks like we might just see this game out and get a 3-0 victory. What a win that was. The reason I went back to being more defensive is because, at 2-0, I think Real Madrid would be okay with that. They go home, see if they can get a 3-0 win or something like that. At 3-0, I feel like they might have to feel like they have to push to get a goal now if they have a chance at home. So I thought, let's be a little bit more defensive, see if we can hit them on the counterattack. But nothing really happened. They only had one shot in the entire second half, one shot on target in the entire game. An absolutely dominant victory in the El Clasico. In terms of the performance, that had to be one of the most dominant victories in an El Clasico ever, right? I mean, it was just completely one-sided. But how bad is this Luca Carna injury? This could be very significant. He's out for a couple weeks. Okay, we can live with it. We do have a bunch of freaking games coming up like we will for the rest of the season, but you know what? It's not end of the world. If it's a couple months, we might be in a pretty tough spot. Luca Carna is out a month. Okay, I mean, kind of right in between. Obviously longer than I'd like, but it is only a twisted ankle, not something massively serious. It will hurt to be without him, but hopefully we can still push on and do well. At least we've got this 3-0 victory now, so we don't really need him as much for the Real Madrid match away from home. So are we back once again? We do have 6 consecutive victories, 3 of them away from home, but I'm still not really sure, especially because our upcoming schedule is insanely difficult. Next up, we have Atletico Madrid away from home in the Liga. Then we have Man City away from home in the Champions League. And then Villarreal, fortunately at home. Then Sevilla, also fortunately at home, before Real Madrid away from home. Luckily, we have this 3-0 victory. We should be able to get by, but it's never a given thing. And then Sociedad away from home. Still not easy. They're in 4th. And then Man City once again. That has to be one of the toughest stretches I think I've ever seen in Football Manager. For next episode, we're going to be playing the second leg of the Copa Del Rey Semi-Final against Real Madrid. We might have a 3-0 lead, but it's Real Madrid. It's El Clasico. It's the Copa Del Rey Semi-Final. I want to be sure we don't screw this up from here. I mean, I don't want to lose to them 4-0 and not show it and be like, well, we lost. So we're going to show the Real Madrid match. For the second match, probably Man City, depending on the result of the first leg. If we're out of it or they're out of it, I might not show it. I'll just show Real Sociedad instead. But yeah, probably Real Madrid and Man City. One home, one away in next episode. But fortunately, we are finally playing well again. We started the season very well, went on in just awful run, but 6 straight victories. Finally looking good away from home and still continuing to dominate at home no matter who we're playing. The good vibes are finally back. I'll see you for next episode where we look to keep that going. If you made it this far, why don't you like the video, subscribe, and click the bell. The links to all my socials and my Twitch are in the description. I really appreciate all your support. Thank you all for joining me, and I'll see you next time.